Grab that Dave Rubin clip.
Oh, great.
So we played a clip of Dave Rubin yesterday with all of his absolutely wrong, like honestly,
that.
like,
yep.
you know, it would be hard to sort of say, like, I'm going to try and, like, I'm going to bet somebody that I can't get it wrong in every instance. And he came up with it wrong. He was wrong in every instance. And here's another clip where now he's like almost like, in a way, and to be fair, this is clipped together from his entire show.
Dave Rubin clips on Twitter.
Dave Rubin clips on what used to be called Twitter. And but here is Dave Rubin now, sort of like processing how wrong he was. But if you catch this, he's sort of slightly blaming some conventional narrative that set him astray. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Yes, without question, the massive red wave that so many predicted did not happen. I kept saying all along, while I think it is going to happen, you never know what is going to happen, and you cannot count your chickens before they hatch. And clearly there was some chickens being counted before they were hatched by the mainstream punditry.
And you.
Pause it for a second. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. He had not only counted chickens, he had built specific, like, separate coops for each one of those chickens.
He was in DC. I think maybe I don't know if it's in this clip, but elsewhere in the show, he admits that he's in DC. It was expecting like a triumphant atmosphere of like a restoration.
He not only got coops for those chickens, he sold the eggs.
Yes.
That those chickens were supposed to lay like 6 months out. Like, he had already supplied different supermarkets around the country with all the eggs.
Got some egg futures you can buy.
Yes, I've counted them. I've divided them. I've actually sold off securities based upon them. I have sold options on the eggs. I've sold futures on the chickens. I have named the chickens. And in fact, I have actually like dedicated part of my backyard to the chicken coops for these chickens.
He pan-seared those chickens.
I've already heated up all the pans. I've greased other things. I've got different menus. I've got all this guy, continue. This is awesome.
All along, while I think it is going to happen, you never know what is going to happen, and you cannot count your chickens before they hatch. And clearly there was some chickens being counted before they were hatched by the mainstream punditry. The Pennsylvania situation, obviously, first off, their voting situation is very bizarre. They had a ton of early mail-in ballots. Look, it makes all the sense in the world that Oz would have won, but he didn't, and it was, about a 5-point differential, which Pennsylvania, man, like, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we just have to accept that 40%, I mean, I was sort of pulling that number out of thin air, but that X amount of people are always going to vote Democrat no matter what.
Pause it for 1 second. This is quite an understanding of American politics that Dave Rubin has stumbled onto, that 40% of people are going to vote for Democrats. There has not been a presidential election in 50 years where 40% of the public did not vote for the Democrat. Like, I mean, it's just like he has not been alive when a national Democrat has gotten less than 40% of the vote. He's just not been alive since then. I think the last one was like maybe McGovern. I don't know. In Mondale, probably still got over 40% of the vote. It really is. It is amazing that this guy can actually like dress himself in the morning.
Do you find it funny that they never really talked about Dr. Oz that much either? It was all about how bad Fetterman was because he had a temporary disability. Did you notice that? That it was not, they weren't like, oh, Oz is awesome. Like, most of them that I watched just didn't talk it. They were just like, they were basically just like, hey, this guy sucks. Let's not talk about him. Let's just talk about how bad this other guy is.
I think that was a function of Fetterman defining Oz very early on, and it became a lost cause. Like, you couldn't, and then the crudité moment, crudité gate, that was crudegate, was just really sunk him. But let's listen more to Dave Rubin.
Yes.
Just struggle with this. First off, very bizarre. All of these people voting early and mailing them in. So bizarre.
A certain amount of people are brainwashed. The other thing that sits behind all of this is that this young generation now, unless we can red pill them really fast, they're being born in a world where they accept government mandates, where they accept putting masks on and when they can go to school and when they can, and being online all the time and being given all this stuff. That's not a great indicator of future freedom, right?
I mean, it is weird how this generation, it's like, accept these things that from this once in a lifetime pandemic. Let me ask you this. What's future freedom?
Future freedom. Oh my God. I think it's a concept that people like me and you can't, these are what he calls high level ideas. And it's sort of like, it's like a tone we can't hear. Basically,
exactly.
It's only for high level people, and we're just not in that community. So we got to kind of just live in this sort of lower consciousness, I think is what it is. That's how I would refer to it as.
When you mock all these people, what is your agenda? Do you have like a mission statement for your show?
No, like honestly, I don't say this to blow smoke, but when I was younger, when I was, in college, I was, late teens, early 20s, there was none of this stuff, right? Like back then when you and Janine were doing AM radio, there was not, I mean, you could read a Chomsky book or whatever, but there was not a lot of this, And so, I mean, my agenda, I guess, is just that it seems like it's great that everybody can, respond to this stuff. Because when I was, younger, it just didn't exist except for you and Janine Garofalo. And me and a lot of my friends really clung to that, because there was not a lot of it. So I don't know. I feel lucky to be able to respond to this stuff and upload it. And that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's very nice. Yeah. Very nice of you to point out. That's really makes our telling you that we're filing copyright notices against you that much more uncomfortable.
Awkward.
Aaron is not cool on our IM says, where are your glasses?
I don't know. I didn't want to wear glasses. I don't know. It seems I already big timed enough on the in the
you felt like if he came on with the sunglasses, it would be a little bit of a
right. You want us to be able to relate to you, right? You don't want to be so cool that it's just like difficult for us to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's the thing about coolness is that you want it to be a little bit attainable. If somebody has glasses on, it's too cool.
Yeah, believe me, I know what you're saying.